Give me the biggest area of positivity on defense, new area of positivity from this offseason.
I think they're going to be better. I think I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do from the interior on their pass rush. I think they're going to be better there. I think that defensive front as a whole is going to be really good. I know they lose Jones and they lose Contavious, Street and Key. Those are the three losses. The guys that they've brought in, where they're replacing them with, though, I think are going to be better at rushing the passer than what they're losing. Key was a guy who had 3 sacks in 3 years before the 49ers got a hold of him.
True.
And so I think Charles Omenihu was a guy who Omenihu was better than that when he was basically playing that interior pass rush role with Houston. So I think that he can step in, especially playing next to Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead. That'll help him out when he does that. I think he'll be doing that full time this year. So I just feel like that interior of the defensive line and the defensive line in general is going to make things easier for that secondary.
Yeah. It's almost like they brought in Charles Omenihu knowing that Arden Key was going to get paid and they weren't going to be the ones to pay him. That's very interesting. He looked good as an edge rusher in that second half of the playoff game against Dallas. Sack and a half. He looked explosive. Yeah. So probably be a handful for guard. I didn't even know that he had that experience in Houston. Just shows how much homework I do. Good to know. Charles Omenihu. He produced in the playoffs. Arden Key did not. Arden Key was nowhere in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, he had a sack and a half. Jordan Willis is a guy who really came on in the playoffs towards the end of the year after missing so much time at the beginning. So their depth is really good. They already had a good starting group. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with Eric Armstead. Are they going to bump Eric Armstead to have him do this inside-outside thing again, or are they just going to keep him the defensive? I agree. I think he's way better if they just lined him up as a defensive tackle. He's so much better there than trying to set the edge. It'd be much better for him.
I don't think they can afford to move him out of defensive tackle because they lost DJ Jones. I mean, if he doesn't start at defensive tackle, then who are your starting defensive tackles? Kinlaw and Givens?
Yeah, I guess that would be who it is, huh?
I mean, I like Givens, but you don't have any backup defensive tackles. I think Armstead's probably going to stick there unless they draft some guys.
Yeah, I think
Hassan Ridgeway. You're forgetting about Hassan Ridgeway.
Yeah, he's a good guy to replace Contavious Street. I think he's going to be replacing Contavious Street in the rotation.
Be a much better run defender than Contavious Street.
Yeah.
And again, every single player that Chris Kasarik handpicks and brings to this team is good. So I'm going to expect probably a Pro Bowl season from Hassan Ridgeway, just because that's what I'm going to make sure not to predict anything bad about Hassan Ridgeway because I'll be wrong. Watch that guy be so good this year. Anyway, biggest area of positivity on defense for me is I think they addressed their third down problems. They were 21st on third down last year, which should not happen. This was the third ranked defense in the league. This is a defense with, like an 8 deep pass rush. One of the best pass rushes in the league. It shuts down the run. It's setting you up for third and long. I mean, really, and they really couldn't get off the field on third and long. At Tennessee, Rams game, I mean, it was embarrassing. And it's like, what do you expect when you line up your corners 9 yards off the ball, no matter what the situation is, and tell them your number one goal is to not get beaten deep for a touchdown or give up and don't commit a penalty. So they're just going to give up first downs over and over and over again. Like they couldn't stop a simple comeback route on 3rd and 12. It was maddening. I don't even root for the team, but their ability to not be able to get off the field on 3rd and long was crazy for a defense that good with that pass rush. So just bringing in Trevarius Ward, someone that theoretically is going to be allowed to play. I mean, he did a good job against A.J. Brown last year, right? So the Niners couldn't stop A.J. Brown last year. So that's good. They should be as good on third down as they're supposed to be with that pass rush and run defense.
It should allow them to play tighter coverage, and that will be a benefit again. And again, that could help them if they end up sticking with Talanoa Hufanga as a safety. If they're playing more cover 3 looks and things like that, where he doesn't need to be deep. That's what he's best at, right? Is playing up along the line of scrimmage up tight like that. So that could help out.
That's again why I don't see this, because Jimmy Ward is your eraser on tight ends. He's your best man-to-man coverage guy. He does a great job on tight ends. Tart played center field on third downs. You really want Hufanga in center field? I don't. They got to get someone else. Maybe it's going to be George Oden center field. He's fast.
It could be. It could be a situation where they're rotating him. Like I said, they did okay when Hufanga started the 3 games that he started in was it Chicago, Arizona was a loss, and then he started the Rams game on Monday night.
Correct me if I'm wrong though. In sub packages, didn't they have him a lot as kind of like a dime backer with Tart on the field?
Yeah, they
Would they
did.
kind of move him down to linebacker on third downs? Maybe they could do
They
that.
did. They did. Yeah,
Maybe they could do that.
there's a lot of things that's one of the things I think they like about him is they can
Yeah.
move him around. He's okay as long as you keep him with like Jimmy Ward. You're all right. It's when he's back there playing with I don't even remember who the other guy was last year when like in the Arizona game they didn't have Ward and Tart, and that was a bigger problem than I think people realize. I think as long as you have one of those two guys, it helps him out.
He seems like a good dime back. I mean, Hufanga in the sense that like you don't really want him playing linebacker on first and second down because he's a little small, but you would love him covering running backs out of the backfield on third down. He'd be pretty good at that. So,
Yeah,
or blitzing, you know what I mean, as a kind of a wild card guy that you have to keep in. So anyway, that's they should be better on third down.